In order to gain superpowers, the old man activated the gamma ray and exposed himself to a large amount of gamma rays. As the gamma ray penetrated his cells, the old man's body began to react in a strange way. His blood became as thick as jelly, and his skin became as bright as a lizard. What's even more incredible is that his palm can actually integrate with the object he touches, instead of becoming an element of the same property. When the old man looked at the object with his eyes, a security guard suddenly broke in. The old man turned around and his palm merged with the object, and then part of his foot became a steel plate. The security guard wanted to take action, but the next day, after confirming his ability, the old man was overjoyed. Even if a Superman came today, he had to kneel down. And before that, the old man himself was a military scientist named David. In order to develop super blood cells, he first extracted thousands of light bulb jelly immune systems in order to find a substance that has a green biological factor. This substance can cause cells to regenerate. Then, cut open a century-old star, separate its cells, and extract the mysterious substance deep inside. This substance has an extremely strong ability to regenerate, but only these two biological genes are still not enough. Because the superblood cells he studied were designed to create an invincible warrior whose skin is unbreakable and self-repairable. So he added a kind of sea honey to his diet. This substance has the ability to harden tissue. Bhutan, the first animal experiment. The old man died. The reason for his death was a biological toxin. In order to neutralize the toxin, he chose to use a lizard to drink the poison. As expected, the old man survived this experiment. But the role of super blood cells is unknown. The soldier dared not use the human body as the subject of the experiment. David secretly put the super blood cells into his body. Strangely, nothing happened to his body. But he didn't expect that during this period of time, his wife, who had not been pregnant for more than 20 years, was pregnant. David was not happy at all, because mutated genes may be passed on to the child. As soon as the little banana was born, David found every time the little banana is angry, his body will give up a strange green color. He took the blood of the little banana. He found that his genes were no longer in his body. He was desperate. He wanted to kill his own flesh and blood, but he accidentally killed his wife in the process of fighting. David was left alone, and this memory became the childhood memory of the 4-year-old little banana. It was imprinted deep in his heart. Time flies. 20 years later, the little banana became ascientist like his father. He also had a girlfriend in the research institute, Betty. But the little banana will feel uncomfortable as long as it is stimulated. So for so many years, they have maintained a pure love. But Betty can't speak. On this day, when the colleague was repairing the equipment, he made a mistake. The gamma radiation in the laboratory was disrupted. In order to protect his colleague, the little banana used his body to block the radiation. In an instant, it was as if an atomic bomb exploded in his body. It seemed to activate something. When the little banana woke up, he didn't remember anything. The strange thing is that under the radiation of the deadly gamma radiation, the little banana not only felt good, but also had trouble with his knees for many years, and he was also unconscious. This made the two of them lose their minds. That night, the little banana in his sleep had a nightmare. Various strange creatures emerged from his mind. An unknown creature appeared in his body. Then the cells began to mutate. The next second, the watch was blown out. The pants were torn. The other parts were also unknowingly dirty. In the end, there was only an invincible inner part. After a loud roar, the green giant withdrew from his body. The later little banana was furious. He kept smashing the laboratory. The gamma radiation in his body was thrown out like a toy in his hand. It scared the police on the side of the road. Then he broke through the roof and disappeared into the deep night sky. When he woke up, he had already arrived at Betty's house. The next day, the little banana didn't remember why he was here. He just felt like he had a nightmare. Suddenly, Betty's father came back. He was a rank-and-file officer. At the same time, he was also responsible for the explosion in the laboratory last night. He found the banana's wallet at the scene. Now, he has a major suspicion. But because there is no concrete evidence, he can only leave it. Unexpectedly, that night, the invader wanted to take revenge to teach the banana a lesson. Unexpectedly, he kicked the iron bar. The irritated banana's face turned green in an instant. The next second, the banana, who couldn't help it, became Hulk again. The invader was thrown out on the spot. The outside agent had never seen such a monster. When he picked up the gun, he shot crazily. Dang, 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 dang. The bullet hit Hulk's head like a bullet. As soon as his anger rose, his body was twice as big. Even the new silk socks were torn. Fortunately, the 2 pieces of invincible underwear didn't break. The invader was thrown out like a chicken. As soon as Hulk disappeared again in the dark, on the other side, Betty suddenly noticed the movement outside the door. She went out and saw a green big head. She was surprised in an instant, but soon she saw the banana's reputation. But she didn't wait for Betty to speak. A few dogs were heard in the back. 3 green-eyed mutants suddenly appeared. It seems that they all have similar skills to Hulk. Hulk is determined to go to the front to protect his girlfriend. Unexpectedly, these 3 vicious dogs died in battle. The first Zhao Ming bit Hulk's Kun Kun. Fortunately, the seduction was not bitten off Hulk. Can't get angry. Grabbing the dog on the side of the foot, there was a thunder and lightning. The dog's Kun Kun instantly flew away. The remaining 2 vicious dogs were exhausted. With the unbeatable defense and strength of Hulk under siege, Hulk also hurt his teeth and mouth. But with the advantage of human form and physique, Hulk still blew up a dog. It's hard for a single dog to escape the rain, but this battle has hurt Hulk a lot. Take a break. The wound has healed. After that, like a leather ball, he returned to human form. At this time, Billy has been determined by the next genie. With thoughts in his mind, he still decided to call his father for help. General Ross received the news and immediately sent a special team. Use a magic gun to lure Banner and take him to the secret base in the desert. Billy's original intention was to make his father cure Hulk, but he underestimated the ambition of the military. Such a good opportunity must be studied carefully. They tried to extract Hulk's genes to create a super army, but his father only obeyed the order of the superior. Billy can't help it because of the need for transformed Hulk genes. Banner was locked in the lab. Various instruments constantly stimulated his brain nerves so that the memory deep in Billy's mind was completely activated, threatening his mother to die at the hands of his father. Banner's anger instantly straightened his mind and turned into Hulk. This special lab couldn't hold him at all. Seeing Hulk in a panic, the control room ordered to demonstrate anesthesia. Smoke, but these smokes were just a sneeze for Hulk. No effect. Then Hulk broke out. This time, the special forces have surrounded here. They tried to use rubber bullets to limit Hulk's ability to move, then extract his genes. Hulk became more and more angry. His body expanded again. The injection gun exploded and the gun was fired. The special forces were scared out of their wits. In addition to destroying the target, there was nothing else but after the bullet hit Hulk's skin retreat directly. The little yellow hair on the table was frozen. The rest of the soldiers were crazy about Hulk, but the bullet couldn't penetrate Hulk's hard skin. In addition to making him angrier, it didn't work at all. In order to prevent Hulk from destroying this base, the Screw soldiers had to order to open the hatch. Wanted to lure him into the desert, then use heavy weapons to kill him. Hulk just came out and started a super speed rampage. A stumbling block is 18,000 miles. In a blink of an eye, he came to a deserted town. But at this time, the soldiers' fire also chased him. By the way, it broke through Hulk's base and turned into a prison. Unexpectedly, the body just recovered. The bullets in the sky came again. Hulk was overwhelmed. He came back to the desert again. Before he could breathe, the soldiers chased him with tanks. Hulk had no choice but to fight. A wild man rushed in and shot a tank, then grabbed the gun and turned around. The tank was thrown out of the sky like 1,000 balls. The rest of the soldiers were killed on the spot. The second tank was also torn to shreds. The soldiers inside were bitten by him. Then 2 shells came. Hulk was knocked down suddenly. This also made him furious, knocked up the turret and smashed the other tank. Now there's only 1 tank left. The 2 soldiers were so scared that they didn't dare to move. Hulk didn't have much trouble. After breaking the gun, he flew away from the scene, but the soldiers didn't want to give up. They sent several tanks to surround him. The bullet that didn't cost money hit Hulk's skin like a sandbag. Hulk flew away, destroyed a tank in an instant. The other tanks fired the final missile in a row. What didn't come to mind was that Hulk grabbed a missile, bit the bullet with his mouth, destroyed the tank again. The two fell to the center of the city. Just when Hulk was about to fight back, he found his best friend Betty sitting in the plane. Under Betty's comfort, Hulk's mood gradually stabilized, finally returned to Banner. The soldiers took advantage of this difficulty to control Banner. But that night, his father David secretly came to the lab. After he got out, he kept hiding in the dark, watching Banner. Those villains were also the ones he deliberately released to test Hulk's ability. Hulk's genes came from him. Since Banner was exposed to gamma-ray radiation can stimulate Hulk genes. Then he can do it himself. In order to stimulate the superpower genes in the body, launched all gamma-ray rays in the lab. To target himself, the effect was as expected. The blood in the body happened at once. At the same time, obtained the ability to transform the body into other elements, can merge the body with the object in contact. After confirming his ability, he found Banner imprisoned by the military. Continuously used words to stimulate Banner to transform, because he wanted to merge Hulk's power. Seeing Banner not doing anything, David picked up the high-pressure wire on the ground and bit it. But he not only didn't electrocute himself, instead, the body got bigger and bigger, until it sucked up the electricity of the whole city. Banner knew this battle was coming, so he no longer suppressed his anger in his heart and turned to Hulk. With a flash, the king was also red. The two fought in the clouds with lightning. Turnaround. Finally, David hugged Hulk and fell into a deep mountain lake. Not as good as Hulk's breath, seeing David and the surrounding rocks as one. But even so, he is still not Hulk's opponent. But Hulk is not confused. David almost can't beat him to death. Every time he beats him to death, he will go through with other rocks. Hulk took advantage of the gap between the rocks, throw him directly into the lake. What's terrifying is David and the water element can actually perfectly merge. This is even more powerful. Banner is still as strong as David. The energy of the whole city. It means that David is constantly running around Hulk, suddenly moved. Since you want it, I'll give it all to you. So it demonstrated the instinct that has been suppressed in his heart for many years. The unceasing energy emanates from the body, so that David's body exploded at a crazy speed. Soon he reached the limit of what he could bear. Just when he was still struggling, the army shot a high-energy gamma missile. At that moment, the green light engulfed the whole forest. But everything was calm. Everyone thought the two died in this devastating explosion. But Hulk himself was suspected of gamma. How could he die from this weak radiation? Banner took this opportunity to hiding in the depths of the mountain. This movie is a must-see for film directors. Theoretically, it should be the strongest version of Hulk in all versions. Because in the movie, Hulk is constantly rising and infinitely getting stronger. It's a pity that this movie is gone. Which version of Hulk do you like best?